Just gotta get that shoulders back, head up, lose it right there, man. Oh, hey,
There
we're
we go.
live.
Hey, dude, there is not a
All
chair in
right.
sight. What's
You
up?
want to just living the dream, baby, living the dream. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I found a spot. This should be interesting. Oh, some interesting art behind this.
Yeah, so we're here. We're here live at Quantum. Registrations and well, just half started, but we can't get into the media rooms yet. So we're just doing a workaround
Wandering
here.
around.
Yeah. So, but
Wandering.
beautiful day, beautiful place. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be good. We already met some good people, right?
Yeah, I met a guy named Time, TYME, NFT artist, has a DAO. Was it Lady Day DAO, which is all about helping the homeless and helping women and minorities get presents and fundraise. Really cool concept. But invite everybody to check him out. We're gonna probably have him on the show sometime over the next 3 days for a quick one.
Yeah.
But super cool. So already meeting people, having fun. Who were you talking to, Brad?
I had a quick chat with director of marketing at Phantom, Juan, really good guy. I've had some other discussions with him. I'm so impressed with all the changes Phantom's making. There's speakers here today. Andre, he's on a panel. Juan's on a panel. I guess Harry Yee's on a panel somewhere, but he's obviously not Phantom Foundation, and I don't think they acknowledge him as. I don't know I don't even know what his little life project is. Do you?
No, I don't. I mean, he is part of Quantum FinTech. I mean, he's the head of that, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, he is. That's his fund. That's his firm.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to misspeak. I thought so.
Well,
but
evidently, to get press passes, they don't check my Twitter feed because if they had, they would not be pleased. If Harry.
Well, they outsource all that stuff anyhow.
And I put out a tweet today saying there are some speakers I'm not going to attend because they're negative value to the space. And somebody said, "Well, who?" And I said, one of the four names was Harry Yee.
Oh, well, luckily, actually, the press teams and the media team's been super cool here. I'll have to look up the names, but all of them super helpful, super friendly. But I was talking to like one of the head guys at Quantum FinTech, Jason, briefly, and he's a super nice guy too. So it looks like it's going to be a good time. Lots of energy already. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Got a very big Phantom orientation, so it's going to be really interesting. Max Life said, looking like real media moguls with their own press passes. Eamon said, bring Cronje on the pod, explain his solidly actions. Unfortunately, Andre is virtual. He is not coming in person. I think he's afraid to come to the United States. So, Mr. Muccioli both fixed their hair. Whoop, whoop.
No, I took a shower before I left, and it's like, I guess I didn't get all the cream rinse out or something, but it's
there
like.
You go. There you go. Joe's hair's getting a bit long, too, people. He's going He's going for the hippie life, I think, here soon. So.
Well, I figured I love it short, but I'm telling you, man, these day and ages, being a 39-year-old white guy, it's like you just look too harsh when it's short.
Yeah.
So I try to soften it up, and I would do it because I thought that then people wouldn't, I wouldn't show as much gray. But now I figured out, heck, if you still got it, you might as well grow it out until it falls out, right? So
tonight,
just softening my look.
Euphoric said, get wrecked at the after party. And tonight is Enjoy Life, Lift 3 Life Party Reception. I think that's Harry's project. Sounds by Julia. No idea what that is, but we will be
That's
there.
The Riverwalk one, right? The Riverwalk one?
Yeah. And these are not...
it's right over there.
These are not the private after parties. These are the party of the conference. And then today we'll find out about the private after parties. But frankly, I'm probably going to go home after the first party. So we'll see. I'm not.
You're not raging till dawn?
Dude, I'm averaging 4 hours of sleep a night for the last 4 weeks. So probably not a good idea for Brad to have drinks and party.
4 or 5 shots, you can wheel your ass home. Be good to go. You pass out fast.
Eamon said, bring Andre on virtually. Yeah, I'd love to. Eamon said 39, Joe? Is that your age?
Well, I mean, plus a decade or so,
And I shaved. I shaved today. I desperately
I didn't.
But I shaved. I went all out today, man. All out. Just for you guys. Just for you.
Just for the audience, right?
Yeah.
Cleaning up our act.
Let's see what's going on in the world. Hey, I got a new episode out. By the way, I can't share screen and I haven't done screenshots, so we're just going to talk. And this will be a brief show today. We're not going to go the full
Monty.
The full Monty. Yes, we're not going to go the full length of the show, but go to missiondefi.com. I've got an interview with the founder of QuickNode. They just closed a $60 million round yesterday. So really impressed with what those guys are doing. And it was a nice interview. The interesting thing is looking at the difference. Like, they're not doing any layoffs even before they raise the money. And one of the things he talked about in the interview was the fact that they don't overhire, right? And it's like, wow, look at that. A guy working in the crypto space who doesn't overhire. They get all this money in, and these guys are making bank because they have some of the biggest projects in the world using them. And plus projects like Adobe, all use them for their infrastructure, for their DeFi and encryption stuff. They don't overhire, right? And the reason is because they're experienced. These guys have been in the internet infrastructure business for 20 years. They built up an entire CDN network that was bought by Komodo, the largest SSL provider in the world. So they know their shit. They're great infrastructure providers. They're moving to decentralize their infrastructure into a decentralized model. And they've got centers all over the world. So anyway, I was really, really impressed with them. Sean says, you guys going to have a few drinks with BitBoy? Yeah, if I had a few drinks with BitBoy, I might knock his ass out. So I don't think we'll be doing that. So,
well, yeah, we're going to rip our shirts off and go start screaming, hey, can't the bartenders do something?
Sean, are you in the BitBoy fan club? I for some reason, I thought I saw you on the list over there. I don't know. It's got Bit in his name.
Dublin edition.
He's the president of the Dublin BitBoy fan club.
He's got a big poster on his wall with a big I heart BitBoy.
Oh shit! All right.
So we'll tell him you said hi. We'll tell him you said hi, Sean.
Yeah, everybody go check out that episode. And on my Twitter feed is the tweet about it. Would love if you could head over there and give a retweet on that. That would be awesome. CoinDesk reporting that Canto Dex trading volumes bumped 200% ahead of the key improvement proposal. So the new proposals that I voted fuck yeah for today or I will be voting fuck yeah for, is to set up the shared revenue model. So that's the model that kind of differentiates Canto from the rest. If you come into the platform and launch your project there and you agree not to charge fees, you will get a cut of all of the gas revenue that you generate. But your revenue will be represented in an NFT that you can then leverage into lending. So you can be getting Canto tokens that are being paid for gas fees for using your protocol. And then you have an NFT that represents that future revenue. And there's going to be a borrowing or lending mechanism that allows you to borrow against that NFT so you can launch new projects, or so you can promote it, or you can do whatever. So it's a really cool model. I'm excited about it. You guys can go back and check out my episode with Scott Lewis from Canto, kind of explaining the philosophy and the ethos behind it. But I'm excited for this vote to pass today because it's going to make a big difference in kind of moving them forward. And the fact that CoinDesk is actually covering Canto Canto Dex like a legitimate project tells me it's starting to get more and more attention. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Great news.
Well, reflected in price too, at 30 cents now. So
exactly.
Obviously the market's liking that.
Yep. I'm liking that. Swell Network, which is a truly decentralized staking validating provider, is launching late Q1 2023. So in March, they're going to launch their decentralized staking product. And their product is kind of similar to the way Frax has done it on Ethereum, in that they have built-in vaults in their platform. So you can take those receipt tokens and automatically have everything that comes in automatically start generating yield in vaults. I don't know if it'll compete with like the 9% that Frax is doing, but it certainly looks like a compelling offering, and it's a truly decentralized staking node operation and offering. You can have a whole node, you can do liquid staking, whatever you like. I interviewed those guys. Search on Swell Network on missiondefi.com. You can find the interview where the whole team explains how they built it and why. I think it's going to be a powerful player in the staking marketplace. So definitely check them out. I'm over here on the other screen looking at my feeds. BitBoy is Satoshi, Sean. I think that's going to be announced today, that he's going to move the Bitcoin to prove he's Satoshi. So,
wait, aren't he and Craig Wright going to have a cage fight out there for us to see who is the real Satoshi?
Yeah. Niblet said, any thoughts on why over the past week a set of coins spiked so hard? Canto, FTM, Apt, Magic. I have my own theories about Canto and FTM. I don't know about APT and Magic. Zero clue about those projects. But my theory on Canto is big announcements. Adam Cochran, big announcement from Variant Fund that they're buying into the project. And then the big move to this shared revenue model for developers. I think kind of there's like this wave of people saying, oh, shit, I need to get in. Variant Fund is in. Adam Cochran is in. Both big influential investors. And so I think that's driving it. And I think kind of media attention is now treating the project as legitimate as well. DeFi Llama showed this week that they're bouncing around between 8 and 9 of all DEXs in DEX volume and trading volume.
Wow.
So those, I think all of those three things are kind of creating a sea change there. Phantom is boosting. My theory is completely about how well the team is executing. They're executing on their communications. Andre is doing reasonable communications. They're talking about their runway. They're talking about the projects they're building. They're not doing hype. They're just building out. I've had multiple interactions over the last week with the senior team at Phantom. I'm thoroughly impressed with everybody that's in place, what they're doing to work on biz dev, what they're doing to promote it. They launched funding vaults this last week as well to fund projects. That's also an innovative thing. Gitcoin grants are coming back again for them, so funding will be available for developers. I think that one is really just, as crazy as it sounds in crypto, is a fundamentals move. I think that the fundamentals of the platform, of the chain, are really strong right now, and people are saying, holy shit, why did I leave Phantom? So I think that's what's driving Phantom. I think that's what's driving Canto, that these are real kind of fundamentals plays. Now, sure, there's plenty of hype happening across the board, but overall, I'm really pleased with kind of the fundamental pieces that are being built and the hype that's building around Canto as well. So good stuff. What did Eamon say?
He said, that the upgrade just launched this minute.
Oh, awesome.
The 5.0. So
that's great. Great news. Like this minute, chain halted right now for a couple of hours for the upgrade. All right. Well, there. And like I said, I'm collecting 21% on staking, collecting 231% in the lending pools. I'm very happy with it. Segmenting off some of that into staking every time. So, look, I think that there's, good news happening. I'm hoping that some of these projects are going to kind of break away from the overall market, right? Because of their fundamentals. So Phantom, Canto, others. Because these people are all now realizing they have to execute. And hopefully, look, they'll have ups and downs with the whole market. I'm not saying they won't. But hopefully some of these projects can start breaking away because they're kind of building a fundamental case for why they have value. We'll see. But that's my
makes
hope.
sense.
Yeah, that's my hope. Let's see. Let me get back over to Telegram. I'm on my iPad, guys, so I can't share a screen with you. Genesis is suing Roger Ver for $20 million over unsettled crypto options trade. So if those of you that are a little younger and don't know, Roger was known as Bitcoin Jesus, and then he got pissed off over the block wars, which we talked to Sean about last week, and created competing products whose name do not deserve to be spoken. He was conning users into thinking that what they created was the real Bitcoin, and causing confusion in the 2017 bull run. So a lot of people got screwed over by that project. They've had next to zero adoption. They're not worth your time or effort. And Roger Ver has been, outcast from the community, although he seems to have gotten a little more reasonable. Anyway, he owes Genesis some money for some options trades. Not sure what the whole deal is with it, but couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So, I have no problem with him in trouble.
But again, that's a thing where I mean, unless he has collateral posted that they can draw down off of, that's something that, it's just going to be sorted out in the bankruptcy proceeding, because he'll just not pay, until the judge orders him to. And even when you get a default judgment, it's still, it's hard to collect on those. You need another set of attorneys to go to the banks and stuff and enter the default judgment, and then, try to get it out of the bank accounts if you can find them. In this case, I bet he probably posted collateral and just doesn't want to settle up on the trade.
Yeah.
But it's,
Sean says Bitcoin Jesus is getting nailed to the cross. Well, I will tell you, it's a sad story, because this man literally, I mean, he evangelized Bitcoin better than anybody. He was out there everywhere he went, man. He was like, he'd walk into a store where he had no relationship and set them up with a wallet, dump some Bitcoin in their wallet, and get it set up so they could start taking Bitcoin. I mean, he was literally on the ground doing it. He was speaking everywhere. He was the model of how to get out and get adoption. And he was a great representative of Bitcoin, and just completely lost his fucking mind. I don't, can't decide if it's greed or event or a belief, but it still sucked. Sean said he's short 20 million collateral here and 38 million on other venues. That's pitiful for a guy who had so much Bitcoin early.
Wow. Yeah. Painful.
Yeah. I mean, had he just stuck with the real thing, he wouldn't be in this position. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. MakerDAO is going to put $100 million into a Yearn vault and earn 2%. They've already done, I think, how much was it they were putting in? They're putting in 1.6 billion into Coinbase's Prime platform for 1.5% APY. They're putting 1.5 billion into Paxos, I guess, and they have 8 billion total in reserves. So this is it's a MakerDAO's trying to make sure that they're continuing to earn and they have sustainability for their platform. I like the moves. They're very conservative, very smart plays. The community's approving this stuff, so that's good to see.
Yeah, good news.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have access? Can you? Well, no, we're probably not gonna be able to do it off phones. But remember that there was that interview that I think it was Sean shared on or retweeted or something on Twitter with the BTC guy interviewing like an ETH and a Solana person, and it's just laughing through the whole thing. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that parody meme clip. But I can't load it because I'm on the.
Okay. All right, it's good. We'll save that for next week. That was just so funny. I was rolling around on that one. So
that was funny as shit. Speaking of which, Sean, I'm going to put this in the show notes. They're one of my favorite people in the Ethereum kind of maxi world, but not a crazy person for the most part, is Haim Solomon. I have an interview with him on missiondefi.com. You can search HAYM. Does these really eloquent, beautiful Twitter threads on kind of Ethereum fundamentals, how the system works. He did an entire thread, Sean, you can see it on my Twitter feed as well, but he did an entire thread on the concepts behind decentralization, how it relates to protocols, how it relates to Ethereum, and whether or not it's important for projects and protocols, or if it's just hype, whereas he talks about how important he thinks it is for Ethereum. But I would love, Sean, for you to take a look at that and give me your takes on it. I think your takes are going to be basically the same as what we discussed the other day on the show. But I still think it's an interesting thesis, and it's an interesting. I highly recommend everyone follow him. He's just a brilliant writer. He deep dives into Ethereum fundamentals, technologies, how the systems work, and just a great guy overall. I really enjoyed meeting him and interviewing him. So take a look at that as well. I'm trying to understand why I sent myself this. Oh, Index Co-op is launching an index. So Index Co-op is indexes of tokens. Usually it's a collection of tokens. They are launching a index for staked ETH. So in other words, the index will buy into products that are staking products. Right now, they're buying into, let's see if it says what they're buying into. But if you want to get into the staking game, this could be a really great way to get into it, right? So I assuming, kind of the staked rewards will come back to the holders of the platform. Okay, so they're going to use Rocket Pool, Lido, and Stakewise. I've never looked at Stakewise. Now I'm a little shocked that they're not going into the Frax platform, but maybe they think it's too new, not well enough tested. And I'm sure they'll add more later. But you can buy this on CalSwap. It's probably a really great way to get into the ETH staking game without dealing with liquidity staking or building a node or being with one of the providers and have your tokens locked up. So really cool concept. You can go to indexcoop.com if you want to play in staking, but you don't want to, it's kind of like ETF or whatever, so you can buy without buying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's easy.
That is all the news I had loaded up. Shizzy said, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Finney died a hero while Ver became the villain. Absolutely, man. He just fucked it up. It's a pitiful story. Really pitiful story. Let me see if any other news has come in while I've been chit-chatting with you, Joe. Oh, yeah. Did you see this? This was really interesting. Coinbase's chief product officer left, I don't know, he's been there a couple of years. But I've never seen this before, but Coinbase wouldn't allow senior executives to trade on their options. They set up a bot that would automatically do it randomly for them on different days of the week and execute their options and buy and then trade and sell, whatever. I don't know how they set it up. But this guy walked with $105 million. Sirojit Chatterjee resigned and is leaving with $105 million from his options. Not bad for a couple of years.
No, it reminds me of when I was running Comgene, the fund back in the .com days. We'd hired someone to run a portfolio company out of Human Genome Sciences. He was like, Bill Hazeltine's #1 guy there, and you couldn't sell the options there. They had some rule; it was restricted like that because it was public. So they do these random sales at different times. So you could never really, you kind of just have to TWAP out basically randomly. And so we hired him and he came in. So he was a juggernaut hire for us. But, then I think that was before 9/11 and then the deals all fell apart. That company went down and he came up to me and he said something like, whatever, this was a mistake. And I said, dude, come on, man. You rolled out when the stock price was like 85 and dumped like 60 million in stock to come here that you couldn't have done before. So what are you whining for, man? You made a ton of money. So people do this. They leave because they get nervous and they can't sell. Yeah. So once you go, you can dump it. And then, you got a nice nest egg and find another job. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people with all the exchanges popping up everywhere that are going to, want that person's services.
Yeah, absolutely. No, man.
So,
yeah.
It's a good move.
Of course.
I mean,
Polygon's number of unique active wallets rose 211% to 22 million in 2022. That's a lot of active wallets.
In 2020, okay. So when did we jump? I remember jumping to Polygon maybe February of 21.
I was going to say, yeah, we were pre-2022 on that.
Yeah, and I remember that was when it was like 3 or 4 cents a piece. But I remember that's when we, figuring out the bridges going in and all that stuff was really complicated. And I wonder if that's just, how are people getting in there differently now? Is there a straight entry point in? There must be, because doesn't Coinbase Wallet allow you to go right into Polygon?
You can transfer from Coinbase or Binance US into a Polygon wallet directly. Absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah. Because it's bridge. So that's probably what's made it easier user adoption wise to get in there. And why the wallets? Plus, it's cheaper. Back then, 2022. I mean, still, I was looking at an Ethereum trade the other day, and I'm like $22 in gas. But back then, I remember it would be like $187 sometimes to do stuff on Ethereum, and so that's why we all went to Polygon. But that's good for Poly.
I'm happy for that chain. I love that team. They never stop delivering. And the beauty of it is probably a good chunk of those are people like Starbucks who are deploying wallets and people don't even know they have a wallet.
Ooh. It was funny when you talked earlier about Phantom BD, I started thinking, I was thinking about Polygon BD, and I'm like, I'm so glad to hear Phantom picking up the pace.
Yeah.
And, starting to do those deals, because all those people that did deals with Polygon, they're all decent targets for Phantom as well. because everybody wants to grow community, broaden reach, bring in more customers, grab more TVL, do whatever, but have a
Yeah.
more compelling offering. So that's we'll learn more about that obviously the next 3 days. And Simone's here as well. He's been liking some of our stuff that we've been putting out the last couple of days about the show and Phantom. So pretty easy for us to talk to him too, Brad. And
Oh
does
yeah.
he work? Does he work for Juan, or
I,
is he like different
no,
capacity?
Juan works for him.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Yeah, Simone's chief marketing officer. Um,
got it.
Interesting. I don't know if he's here though or not. I don't know if Simone's actually here or not. I don't know if he's in
Or
person.
maybe virtual. Okay,
Yeah,
got it. Yeah.
yeah, because he's European. Celsius evidently has won court approval for customer withdrawals as well as the Flare token airdrop distribution. So if you had money locked up in Celsius, go check with the whatever website you use to check on your holdings. The court has approved customer withdrawals. I have no idea what that means
Wow.
or how without a settlement of any kind, but evidently that's who's reporting that. CoinDesk is reporting that today, so
That's
that article out.
yeah, that's really cool because it must have been, they're treating it in bankruptcy as, the way it's supposed to be, where you have compartmented customer funds
Yeah,
and then everything else. So they must be saying, look, I'm sure it doesn't sound like there's a haircut from what you said at all. So you're getting it out at the value of, numerical value of what you put in, not pricing value. So that is promising. That's going to free up a lot of capital, put some capital into the market. Because weren't they
yeah.
sitting on, what is that, about 200? How much was in there, actually? I can't remember. Do you know roughly?
I don't remember.
Okay.
So
But still, it's positive news.
I hadn't seen this news. I'm just now looking at it. I'm going to put a screenshot in. Circle has launched a DEX. So the builder of USDC has actually launched a DEX competing with all the DEXs that use it as the primary token. Maybe this will be the nice impetus to get some of the folks in DeFi to get the fuck out of USDC. I can only hope. Let me see if I can get this screenshot loaded up. But they've got it looks like a Uniswap, clone.
There was a lot of chatter.
Crazy.
There was a lot of chatter in Twitter the last couple of days about like Coinbase and others moving huge amounts of USDC over to USDC, and then it's circling back over to the originator and then back out again. And there was a lot of speculation. What was it? Because it wasn't going into burn wallets. It was just, looping around. And I wonder if that's part of this DEX play.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of scalping out from under your biggest drivers of volume for your product. I don't.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like all the other guys will now just say they'll just delist USDC on those platforms.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna do a tweet thread on this because this is fucked up. I mean, I get it. It's easy money, and all of the other stuff they're concerned about now, lending and everything else, is a problem for them. But this is. I wonder what some of the default listings here. Let me see if I'm gonna pull this back up and see what's in the default availability of tokens. That's kind of crazy. I mean, they can provide massive amounts of liquidity, right? I mean, it's let me see what comes up in the token list. Oh, right now it looks like just Aave and USDC. Maybe I have to connect wallet.
So Aave's in there. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's the one that I always have confidence in them. And yeah, that means that they're not if you see them like kind of partnering up with USDC, that's telling me they're not at risk in the US regulatory arena.
Well, yeah, they've obviously are trying to figure out what they're allowed to do and can't do. But this is really interesting.
Yeah, because look at all the other ones, the other DEXs. I mean, they're not going to be pleased with this.
No, of course not. Because the next step for them then is create a wallet, which I would do if I was. I'd want to do if I was Circle. Because look, I mean, I guess here's the play. The play is that you're trying to own the ecosystem, right? And so if you can create this regulatory compliant ecosystem, then what do you do next? You build a wallet. You deploy a wallet, or you partner with MetaMask to be the wallet that's integrated with your platform, right? So What are they trying to do? They're trying to capture everything that's going to come in from regulatory, because where does that put them in a position to do? That puts them in a position to be the provider to the banks, puts them in a
Yeah.
position to be a provider for fintech, puts them in a position to be a provider for Web 2. So every TradFi, institutional. So this is actually, I get it now. This move is, hey, we're going to bring all the pieces together. You don't need any of this other fucking dangerous DeFi shit that's out here. You can do everything with us and have all the experience of this. We'll pull in the guys that are safe, who are regulatory compliant, and we'll be your gateway, right? So
Yeah.
they don't give a shit about what's happening in regular DeFi. Their bet is, I can take in everything that's going to come in the next bull run, from institutional, from fintech, from Web 2, and I don't have to, and I can make it feel safe, and I don't have to worry about the DeFi Wild West anymore. So all you people that thought it was okay to keep doing USDC, this is your comeuppance, because they're not going to include you if you're not completely doxxed, if you're not KYC'd, if you're not completely regulatory compliance, if you haven't registered, you're not going to get to play in the Circle world. So
Yeah.
I think there's a call to action to the rest of DeFi to figure out Circle is not your fucking friend. USDC is not your friend. And you should be considering what your options are. Now, if you want to play in their space, then go do all the registrations and get everything done and be the regulatory compliant. And that's great. That's absolutely fine. But it's not going to be DeFi anymore. This won't be decentralized, right? So
Yeah. And I don't see how they, yeah, look, this is going to make a nice kind of paradigm between, we talked about sort of what, not deglobalization, but sort of compartmentalization around regulatory sort of trade fi kind of DeFi stuff within the US in particular is what I'm talking about, because of how USD, its capabilities as a coin and what it can do in the wallets and things like that. So, but outside of that will be all the fun stuff. And I think what's going to be interesting is I don't see how they're going to be able to get the yields in that fully.
No,
yeah, it's going to be
1.5%, 2% yields.
Yeah. So you're still going to be, the risk reward paradigm will still be there, where now, you can go to the other stuff.
They'll probably
riskier.
have a lending. They'll probably have a lending platform, and they'll probably have higher yields from that, right? But that's going to be a dicey regulatory issue for them. Yeah,
because Coinbase still doesn't have that, right? Weren't they? They were keep getting in trouble for the lending stuff.
SEC refused to let them do it. Like they went through the SEC, come in and talk to us, and we'll shoot down anything you want to do. So that's going to be tough for them. But what do you do if you're Circle? Well, what I do is I get acquired by, or I acquire a bank, right? Mm-hmm. Now you've got a lot of regulatory room for potentially doing some lending products. So, look, I think this is the play. I really believe that this is actually, I take back what I said earlier. This is a smart play by Circle to cannibalize their existing base, because they don't give a fuck. What they really care about is sucking in everything that's going to come in from the people that are worried about the regulatory influence. So, Mr. Muccielli, yes, Frax is heavy on USDC. And I got to tell you, if I'm Sam Kazemian, I'm looking at behind me, worried about regulatory, because I'm a United States, California citizen. And so I've built out a shit ton of products that do not fit in the regulatory basket. I'm brilliant biz dev, brilliant marketing, brilliant development, all great products. But maybe this is the play that Circle says, hey, you're dependent on us. We're dependent on you. In terms of driving volume, you have all the products that would be attractive to our market. And maybe this is a play where Circle goes to Congress and Circle goes to regulators and says, look, I can take all this really cool shit and make it safer. And so we can keep out the bad actors. Let me be the player. Now, their problem is Coinbase is going to say, this is an interesting dilemma for Coinbase, because Coinbase is part of the alliance that developed USDC, but Circle is their own company, and they are now creating products that compete with Coinbase, right?
Yeah.
So this is a really interesting dilemma for Brian Armstrong at Coinbase. How do you respond to this, right? You're a centralized exchange, you're the gateway, but Coinbase is Circle's over here saying, yeah, we're going to do everything you do, and we're going to do it on, DEX world, not decentralized really, but DEX world. We're going to do all these protocols. We're going to bring them in. And what do you got left, Coinbase? Because Circle is an on-ramp too, right? I can on-ramp into Circle on the USDC from my bank account. So what do I need Coinbase for anymore? And there's a lot of dynamics in here that's really going to be fucking interesting with this play. Sorry, sorry, I'm trying to figure this out on the fly, guys, but we're just digesting it because I had no idea it was happening. But this is
it's
interesting.
It's good. It's good. I'm thinking that, look, if I'm Frax, if I'm Sam, now all of a sudden, I'm thinking, if I'm London, crypto London, let's say, or crypto HK, now I'm thinking about, okay, if I see what Circle's trying to do, then I want to compete with that, or otherwise not the whole market, but a big chunk of that market's going to get locked up in New York for everybody.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that, higher yields and things like that could attract more players into, say, a crypto London type ecosystem that's a little more loose than, say, a US regulated system. So again, I think, we're going to see, Americans still do investments overseas and in different companies and things to capture yield. I think we're going to see stuff like that where you're going to have the super, super safe, low yield kind of plays. But then overseas, you're going to have the more exciting and fun stuff. As to Coinbase, I think they're a few years ahead of Circle still. As to the DEX part of it, I don't know if a Coinbase person's going to go over to Circle and trade on that DEX, but maybe new people that come into Circle that aren't in Coinbase will start at Circle.
Circle's going to go into the banks. I guarantee they're going straight into the banks because the banks already have approval now for allowing crypto holdings in the banks. That was approved last year. So now who's best to do it? Well, if you're a bank, you don't want to build that infrastructure. So what do? You use Circle. The users don't give a shit that it's a DEX or it's centralized. They don't care. But now Circle can handle swaps. Circle can give them everything in the spectrum, WBTC, ETH, anything that they are allowed, that they feel like is compliant, they'll make available to users. Users don't know the difference, right? So here's what you do. You're basically creating, it's kind of like what Roger Ver did, telling everyone it was Bitcoin. Well, this is telling everyone it's crypto, right? And the average Joe isn't going to have a fucking clue. They're not going to understand that this isn't decentralized. They don't care that it's not decentralized. They just care that they get to play in crypto in their bank account. So they can log into their Bank of America account. Oh, look, what's this? I can play in crypto. Circle is the branded implementation for Bank of America. And now I can swap, I can buy, I can borrow, I can lend, I can make money.
Yeah.
I'm in crypto. This is a really smart play by Circle. It's fucking brilliant. It's really brilliant.
Well, if they can get through all the thing is, we just had FTX rolling through, dropping money all over government, and Circle's going to have to do the same thing to get Congress on board. And I'm curious how much, what the reaction is going to be by Congress people in that regard, just because they've heard it now once or twice. And so they're going to be super skeptical. And of course, what's Coinbase going to do? They're going to be ramping up their lobbying operation. And they're going to be in there throwing money around and trashing Circle to everybody. What's wrong with it? Why it's not good and this and that. So it's going to, congressmen are going to get richer, obviously. But I'm really curious to see how this plays out. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's that play. That's interesting. Coinbase. This whole war is going to get really fucking interesting. There's Binance US. By the way, Binance US just got ISO and something else as one of the safest. God, I don't remember what the wording was. Basically, they got certification as top tier safety for users in financial infrastructure.
Super VIP safety coin.
Binance US just got the ISO and the other big engineering
IEEE or something like that.
Whatever.
That one.
They just got top level approval as safest technology infrastructure for users, financial applications for users.
That's
so
good.
That war is going to happen. But here's the next war, right? The next war is this. Everybody in fucking DeFi that's been depending on USDC for all of their volume, all of their fucking liquidity, it's time to rethink this shit. Because if you want to play in Circle's game, go for it. That's cool. Go do that. Go talk to Circle. It's a smart business move. It's not a decentralized move, but it's a smart business move. So if you're in this game, and that's what you want to do. You want to reach more users because I think Circle will. If you want to reach integrations that Circle will have and you want to jump through the hoops of regulatory approval to play in Circle's sandbox, you should do that. But if your goal is decentralization, if your goal is creating a new financial system that's not dependent on this stuff, then you need to think about your dependency and your drug addiction. Your heroin is USDC, because our entire space is dependent on it. Everything is dependent on it. And so I think it's time for everybody to take a look in the mirror and decide which way they want their project and protocol to go. No fault. You can reach a lot of people through Circle and through Coinbase, DEX, and whatever else comes from Binance. It's all good. But if you're truly in this game for a new financial system and decentralization, or you want to be the Wild West part of it that Joe talks about, then it's time to rethink your dependencies.
Yeah. And also anybody.
I'm calling out Sam Kazemian at Frax, huge USDC dependency. The guys at Bean, USDC dependencies. There are very few players right now that are not USDC dependent. So
why is it, just real quick before we go, why is it just that they're trying to appease the regulators, you think, or why aren't they more say, just for another example, USDT dependent?
I think it was a smart biz dev play at the beginning by Circle. I think Circle was aggressively involved at the beginning of DeFi, and they saw an opportunity because they knew USDT already dominated the centralized exchanges, that penetrating any real depth of market was going to be tough. The only exchange they really could get a lot of traction on was Coinbase, because Coinbase was part of the partnership for USDC. And so what they said was, fuck it, let's go out, look at this shit that's happening in DeFi. Let's go see this. And I'm sure they provided resources. I'm making all this shit up. I have no idea what they did.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
But I think they were just aggressive on the BD front and went into protocols, probably provided some grants, whatever. And, sorry, I had a call come in. And like a good drug dealer, the first one was on them, right? So
hey, first taste is free. Tell your friends.
Exactly. So
all right, man. What do we got?
Eamon says Bean was the chance to not require real asset dependency. Hopefully it pulls through. I hope so too, man. I really do. I'm done, Joe. Let's wrap it up. I'm fucking hungry, and I want to get going with the show. Listen,
absolutely.
Amen. Mr. Muccioli, Niblets, Shizzy, Sean. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Max Live. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for participating. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll still probably be a shortened show. Lunch starts tomorrow at noon, Joe. So
Uh-oh.
I don't know. Maybe we'll eat. We'll do DeFi lunch.
Yeah, there you go.
You want to try to do it at a table in the middle of the fucking chaos? That'd be kind of
interesting. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. That sounds super cool. And then
tomorrow, so I can hear what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Click the thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up on YouTube per Joe. So you do it just like that. You have to do it just like Joe does it. Make sure you subscribe. Click the bell so you get notified of new episodes. Thank you for listening and watching. Don't forget to get into Telegram, t.me/missiondefi. The conversations are fucking great over there. Love meeting you all. Love getting to know you. If you're listening on the podcast and you've been listening all this time, walking the dog like somebody has, or driving their truck, or driving the kids to school, whatever it is, please come introduce yourself over on t.me/missiondefi. We are having an absolute great time getting to know each other, talking about what we're interested in. We've got all kinds of topics set up. Anything you're into, we can discuss. Well, anything in crypto you're into, we can discuss. There's probably limits. We do have an off-topic conversation, but I think Niblets will be over there to talk about kink, but I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
as soon as you said it, we think about all the kids driving to school, and I'm thinking about all the profanity we throw out. Sorry, parents.
Yeah, there was some kid the other day with my daughter, was over at the house in the living room, and he cussed. And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, your parents." My daughter started laughing. She's like, "You've never met my father, I guess."
F-bomb is his middle name.
Exactly. Thanks,
all right,
everybody.
Man.
We appreciate and love you guys. Have a great day. James said, "Congratulations on the Telegram channel growth." Thank you, buddy. Niblets said, "Ha." Yeah, Niblets is in charge of off-topic conversations. So
cool.
Hey, and make sure you guys are checking out the Shizzy and Niblets show, DeFi discussions. They're doing great work over there. He's posting shows in the general category, so we all know when he's going to be on. They're going to be on. So please do give them some love. Love and appreciate all of you. Have a great day. Joe, I'll see you in 2 seconds.
All right, buddy. Yeah, thanks, everyone. You guys have fun. We'll go tackle the market for you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.